Is it just me, or did the gaming community change? Art, what do you think about it? Let them know. Oh, what it do? It's your boy O2, and welcome back to Do the Most Gaming Podcast. Now, I caught myself choking out the llama guy. Sorry, llama. There. Welcome to the podcast. Got my wife co-hosting. Since we don't have a double mic right now, or the box that I talked about, she just sits here in view for you guys. She does weigh in on a little bit stuff, especially if she has something she feels strongly about in the gaming community, which is kind of not so much. So I'm usually the one that talks, guys. But thank you guys for joining, man. I appreciate the new subscribers, man. We're growing. We're close to 400, and we're getting even. That's the thing. We're getting so close to 500. We're way less than 150 from 500 subscribers, where I'll be doing a V-Bucks giveaway. They're not V-Bucks cards anymore. They're Fortnite cards, but once I hit 500, I'll have multiple winners. I'll announce it in my post, and I'll do a video, like a short that I've been doing, the chat GBT, putting all the names of my subscribers. If you're not put on public mode, I can only see probably 40 or 50 of you guys in public mode. Those are the people that will be in the drawing. So if you want to be a part of the giveaway at 500 subscribers, make sure that your YouTube channel is made public. Just for the mere fact that I'm not trying to display your YouTube account if you're not a YouTuber actively making videos. I still want to be able to see your your YouTube channel name, because you have to have an account to be able to watch YouTube. A lot of people have accounts, they do not make videos. In fact, I would say the majority of people don't. Maybe they have a few, but not really. I'm actually trying to make something out of YouTube, guys. But thank you so much for joining us. Man, I'm thrilled that the channel is growing and will continue to grow. But today we are talking about the evolution of the gaming community. And hopefully, I said last Sunday, podcast, I was like, we're not going to be too long, and yet it was one of the long. It was like the second or third longest podcast we had. I think third. So we really are not trying to go long, guys, but it is a podcast. So whether you're just listening to this because you have YouTube Premium, or you're watching it and seeing us in the virtual flesh, we appreciate it. Drop a like and leave a comment on what you think. I need to be schooled a little bit, because the information I'm going to be giving you is a little bit of... Don't have stats today, guys, so a lot of you may be cheering because I'm a stats guy. But I do have a little bit of research, but it's going to be a lot of anecdotal, too. A lot of personal experience with the evolution of the gaming community, which is why you clicked on, and it took 3 minutes to get there, but... This is a podcast, guys, where we just like to talk too, and not. I may even start one that's not gaming related, or this may morph into a podcast where we talk about everything once we run out of the gaming things. If that happens, I don't know. I kind of seem to be able to keep coming up with things that at least touch on and even go back to, depending on what happens within games, because the video game industry is constantly evolving, and it has since the beginning, guys. So we're going to jump right into it. I have I've called it eras, ERAS, eras. There's been 3 eras that I would consider of the gaming community as we see it. So we want to go back all the way to the 60s, really, and that's crazy to think about. Before we landed on the moon. Did we land on the moon, or is it a hoax? The world may never know. Personally, I don't know. I mean, they said they did, so I'll take their word for it. But I know the flag did look kind of funny, and who knows? But I'm not a conspiracy theorist, guys. Like my younger sister. Shout out Taylor. If you watch this, I'm sorry. I know you're a conspiracy theorist. Admit it. But anyways, um, um, anybody remember? So one of the first games to be developed. There's two specifically, guys. And a lot of people will know this because they're actually hell. City Forum has one of these. So we're gonna start Space Invader. Space Invader, guys. That was one of the first. One of the first. I'm not gonna say the very first. That's why, guys. If you know the very, very, very first game to ever come out, whether it be to a big company or a small company that you knew, and you're an old geezer, a boomer or Gen X, it had to be one of them guys because the silent generation knows nothing. They're silent on the matter of video games. That's a terrible joke, but nonetheless, Space Invaders came out in 1962. It was at MIT. What is that? That's the Mass. So that's Massachusetts. I almost said Massachusetts. That would work too. You say it fast enough, nobody would know. Massachusetts. What was it again? Institute of Technology. I should know that, guys, but I'm just retarded, But anyways, they done what I had written was Space War, but in the 60s. But Space Invader became a thing, guys. Like, remember? So it was like, I'm starting with this to kind of build on what the gaming, so bear with me for about 3 to 5 minutes as I lay the groundwork of the gaming community, because I have to start with the first few video games for me to get to the community of gamers and gaming and how it's evolved in the three eras. So in 1962, these guys were working hard at this college, man. They're in there working, man. And so Space Invaders was a game where it was like it's 2D and it was pixelated. I don't know how many pixels. If I had to guess, 1,000? Less, maybe? 100? I don't know. But it was it was the shape of like a little spaceship, and it was at the bottom. And all you could do was move it left or right. And I think it was hit a button to shoot. And things would come down in like waves and sweep down. Sometimes it would be big things, and they'd like ping pong across the freaking screen. And you were trying to shoot them down. And ultimately what you were doing was trying to keep the things away long enough to achieve a high score. Pong was another game that was invented about a decade later. Pong. Everybody knows Pong, guys. It's been on the Wii. It's been on computers. Hell, I think even PlayStation probably had a little rendition of it. Where it was, you think of ping pong, guys, where it was two like lines on a screen that went up and down. Instead of going side to side, Space Invaders, they're like, we're going to go vertical now. And it was a two-player game, or you could play against the computer. They had coded it and programmed it that where you could play against CPU at the time, which was wild, and co-op, where a ball would go back and forth, and you would try to meet the ball when it came to your side and hit it so it would bounce back. And depending on, it had a little bit of physics I felt involved with it, to where you could hit it a certain way to get it bounced and try to make the other person lose or the computer lose. And this boomed and exploded into what was known as like what I'm going to call the arcade era. And this happened in the 60s, the 70s, and I would say damn near even into the 80s. It was huge. Arcades, guys. So there's so many different games. There were racing games. There were shooting, kind of what we're seeing now, but like the OG versions. Shooting games with, you grab a little gun out and point at the thing. They got fancier and fancier. Now you see, in malls and, movie theaters and places where you'll find still arcade-like things. A lot of times they'll have VR headsets. And I'm thinking, how many people have wore this? Am I going to get MRSA? But This was to foster social play and incorporate high score competition. So it was like you could almost think of it as like a local rivalry, because if you were going to go beat somebody at Space Invaders, you were going to do it in your hometown. If you did it at another place, you were a god or a legend. If you put your name in, like people would know you. Maybe not personally, or like they do on social media. They may not know your first name and last name, but they knew you were the top leader on the leaderboard for the game. I have some things written that I can't hardly read because it looks like scribble. When I done a little bit of research for this episode, but so what I cannot read, I will not. But so we had the arcade era, and that was fun, man. When video games were separate from the house, people had a blast. People had a blast. Not saying that people don't have a blast now, but it was friendly rivalries. Friendly rivalries. Now, these friendly rivalries would soon morph into something more. But before I get to that, the 90s did come, but in PC was gaining a lot of traction. Computers were becoming much smaller. I think the first computer was like as big as a damn room or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but something like that. But computers had become accessible to the general public to where, I mean, don't get me wrong, they were big boob tubes, but there were games like that were automatically loaded on Dell's computers, pinball, that Minefield thing where you had to click Minesweeper. There you go, Solitaire, stuff like that. I even had a little pod racing game that they remastered and was in the PlayStation Store for a little bit. Don't know if it's still there, but the pod racing game, Star Wars, and then the 90s brought in the early stages of online gameplay. So 90s was kind of that middle ground, which I'm going to call the online revolution. The 90s brought, Doom and World of Warcraft. So these big online games that were ahead of their time, really, considering the 90s. Doom and World of Warcraft. I mean, think about it, man. These were big games. I would even dare say RuneScape, but RuneScape may have come out in the early thousands. During this time, I mean, things were stirring. Technology was ramping up very fast, and that was, I consider, the second era, which is the online revolution. The World Wide Web was growing very rapidly. This is from the 90s to the early thousands. We had the World Wide Web, guys, and Google was becoming a thing. A lot of the Gen Z people were not alive or being born when Google was coming about and becoming the mainstream search engine. Because we had like Ask Jeeves, we had AOL, we had a few others. Even www.com, guys. I was the weird kid that would type in that. But gaming progressed. They brought MUDs, like I said, World of Warcraft, Empire. Then LAN parties were a thing, or brought online to play in the forefront. And even in the early thousands, were introduced consoles. But I would say, I'm going to say this, and some may disagree with me. The first two generations of consoles were within this online revolution. Even though PS1, you weren't technically, I don't think, able to play with anybody online. PS2, I don't think either. Don't remember that. At least I didn't play online if there was. But we were, it was ushering in a new way. We were bringing the arcade home, so to speak, and Doom and World of Warcraft did lay a lot of foundation for more games, but with the consoles, there was more freedom to make more in-depth games more replayable. Not to say arcade games are super replayable, but games that would have a lasting impact on people. Nintendo was very good at that with Mario. Let's just talk about Mario, man. Mario was a very fun 2D game that was super fun. Even games like Tekken and the first fighter game, Street Fighter, where it was 2D, kind of 3D looking, but still 2D fighting games. But we got Xbox. Xbox came out with Xbox Live pretty quickly, considering. But we're going to go into the modern era now. That's why I said this podcast isn't going to be very long. But I do have something very important to say towards the end. So please stick to the end before you hop off. Watch this one all the way through because I've got a statement to make. So with these consoles, the technology was going to develop rapidly. Now, sorry if I haven't been looking to the camera. I have been staring at a chicken scratch, guys. Look at this shit. I mean, I don't know if you can see it, but it is terrible. I was feverishly writing, man. Like, jeez. The modern. So the third era I consider is called the modern era. This would be even considered the 2000s to present day. So we've been a quarter of a century into the modern era. But really, it hit probably, 2006-07 when PS3 and Xbox 360 were the new things. We went from plugging, I don't know what you call them, but the yellow, red, and white cords. Somebody leave it in the comments below. I may send you one of my books free of charge. But went from that to HDMI cables. So things, the resolution was getting better. Gameplay, graphics, the gameplay itself was getting more elaborate and better, so to speak. I mean, not just so to speak. We've got games that look damn near lifelike now, and they will become lifelike the further we get into it. Virtual reality is going to be more of a thing than it already is. You're going to be able to take the game anywhere. You already are. You can play Fortnite on your phone. There's other games. Xbox has this handheld thing out now that you can take with you, kind of like Nintendo Switch. But in this modern era, so we go to PS3, to PS4, to PS5, 360 to Xbox One, to I think Xbox One X, and then Series whatever. Xbox is not my lane, guys. Y'all see the shapes. But although I did, like I said in previous podcasts, I did get my feel of Xbox with my cousin growing up. Shout out Stephen Cole. But let me hit this real quick. Sorry. Bad for a podcast? Nah, not bad for a podcast. Hey, add a few seconds. No, I'm just playing. We're trying to keep it under 30 minutes, and I'm keeping an eyeball on the time. But the modern era, along with the modern era, came the boom of social media. So not only were you now able to play online and some games offline, but you were able to share your gaming experience with other people. So we had the birth of YouTube in 2005, and Twitch a little later on. And this brought the rise of professional gaming. People that got paid. We went from local rivalries and just people to go to have fun, all the way to people being paid to play video games. How crazy is that? Tell me that is not evolution at work, which the definition of evolution is just a gradual change over time. And that's what we've seen in the gaming community. We went from going somewhere to play games to not ever leaving the house to play games, and actually going back to arcades for just nostalgia purposes. But you don't even have to do that, because some of these games can be found on the PlayStation Store, on the Xbox Game Pass. You can go back and relive it in your house. You don't have to leave. streaming, social media. You can send your gameplay to Instagram, to TikTok, to YouTube, to Twitch, to damn near anything that will allow video footage to be shown. You can send it out into the ether and even go viral. And many have become viral sensations. Some people take longer than others. Some people never make it. There's a big underground, vast gaming community of gamers that are trying to build communities around their gameplay, such as myself too. I'm a little late to the game, even though I've been gaming since the console era started and began. But with this came, I believe, yielded a crowd of toxic people. Since the gaming came to the house, you got to think people that were willing back in the day to go out to the arcade were going for the thrill of the game, the thrill of competition, potentially if they're going with friends. To now, you've got the Couch Potatoes. And shout out Couch Potato. If you're not subscribed to him, go subscribe to Couch Potato, my boy. Couch Potato 227, I think it is. But I'm talking about the couch potatoes, people that do not get off a couch for nothing other than food and to defecate, and maybe to Walmart to peruse around. But that's why I say the gaming community has changed, because now the competition has gotten so bad that we've had people cheat. We've got cheaters. We've got people buying software and devices that help their gameplay, aimbots, things that make it easier to win because they would suck otherwise. So we've got trolls. These are people that intentionally are trying, they're online to piss you off, whether they're watching your content and trying to piss you off, or they are terrible teammates, or they're harassing opponents. Not everybody, but it is a growing community in itself. To where we used to have fun on games, and they used to be a great escape, good coping mechanism to kind of brush off the day, get home from work. Hey, I'm going to play some video games, son. Okay. And have a good time and kind of escape reality. Now we've got it to we're trying to keep up with the Joneses in the video game community, guys, the gaming community. We are literally keeping up with the Joneses like we're working. And a lot of us aren't making money, but a lot of gamers are making money. So I'm like I said, I'm going to keep this under 30 minutes. So here's the important thing. I think the gaming community, what was meant to be friendly competition and to bring people together and to help people to escape from reality and have fun, which is what everybody likes to do. Everybody likes to have fun. If you don't, go see a doctor as soon as possible. It turned it from local rivalries and just friendly competition to toxic players, trolling, cheating, creating a divided culture, which was meant to bring people together. And it's sad to see, but now, like I said, we have a whole. I think the numbers just growing. If we were to do a survey or statistics, there probably are some statistics. I just didn't look them up to spare you guys some grief. But man, that's why I say when you get online, man, try to be friendly with folks. Try to be a good teammate. If you're on a team with a online game, we'll just go with Fortnite because we're Fortniters. Try to be a good teammate. Try to be understanding if somebody drops. Rage quitting is never acceptable. I don't care how angry you get, because remember how gaming started, man. It was for the escape. It was to have fun. I was even saying last night or night before that I'm like, I don't even know if I want to do Fortnite anymore. Like, I think episode 262, I was like, man, this ain't even funny anymore. I said that. And that's crazy to think, because growing up, that like I at school, all I could think of was like going home. Couldn't wait to go home to play video games. And as I've gotten older, I'm like, video games have become more of a chore, and that's weird. Not that I don't still have fun. I do. Don't get me wrong, guys. I have fun on Fortnite. I have fun on the games I play. Um, but I'm just very surprised of how much it's changed, how much of it's evolved. Just kind of like the cell phone, we can kind of relate. I can kind of relate it to that real quick, and we'll end the podcast. When the phone was attached to a cord, we were free. That's been memed, I know, but we were. When the phone was attached to the wall on a cord, we were free. Now we're imprisoned. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but most people are doing this right now. You may be even watching me doing this. Here's my phone. I'll grab a phone. We're imprisoned, guys. We're imprisoned. Same thing with the game. Where you used to have to travel to a place to go play video games. Now you can literally destroy your mental and physical health and sit behind a screen, talk all the nonsense and bullshit to people, and be toxic. And that's what the gaming community has become. Now, not everywhere. Not everywhere. Don't get me wrong. There's some good people. I have met amazing people online. Some people I would have not otherwise have met. And I do appreciate the online community. So I am split down the middle on it. It's as good as it is bad. But nonetheless, what once brought people together can divide just like a knife does or an axe does when it cuts wood. That's crazy to think about the evolution of the gaming community, and that local rivalries and friendly competition has turned into a competition of ego, greed, and self-centeredness. So I love when I'm doing collabs with people, playing with other folks and stuff, and supporting other people. That's why I say support other people, man. Support small time gamers. Not that you don't you're a fan of the big famous people, but support small time gamers. Look into small time gamers, man. You're gonna find some hidden gems, guys. Some personalities that need to come to the forefront. But that's my take on the evolution of the gaming community, and I'd like to hear your spiel on it. Maybe mine was a little too dark, but that's literally what the research suggests. And anecdotally, I'm 32 years old, so I'm not the oldest of the bunch of gamers, but because gamers range from kids now all the way to real grown folk, like 40s, 50s. I've even seen some grannies on there, man. But appreciate you guys for watching this. If you haven't checked out my thriller books yet, guys, what are you waiting for? Be sure links will be down in the description below this video and can be found in my YouTube bio. My YouTube bio, I've doctored it up. I've redone it. It's got a bunch of emojis and fun. It's a fun little, you can read it or you don't have to, but my book links are the Amazon links at the top. Not the top. It's below the writing and all the emojis and stuff. And then below that's all my social medias that you can follow if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. But check out my books, guys. Support my my vision and my dream as an author too, because I'm an author at heart. I'm a writer at heart. But nonetheless, this is my take on the evolution of the gaming community. We can do better, guys. But thank you so much for watching. You already know O2 does the most. I'm so sorry for choking out the llama. I would never do that to the llama. I would be like this. Watch this, guys. I would be like this. Boop. Prizes. Thank you guys so much for watching, man. If you're not subscribed, please smash that subscribe button. Share this video with your friends, man. And like the video. And like I said, I want to hear from you guys. Drop comments. My last few podcast episodes have been a little slow. So drop some comments on what you think the gaming community, how it's evolved, how you think it's evolved. I want to see other people's perspectives and perceptions versus mine. Not going to lie, this is the truth as far as like timeline wise, but I did give kind of an anecdotal experience on how I see the gaming community evolving from friendly competition to keeping up with the Joneses and being greedy and egotistical and creating these fake personas that aren't even real. But let me know in the comments, guys. I will see you guys in the next gaming podcast. Do the most. See you guys. Appreciate y'all guys for watching Real Talk.